What's crackin', movie trivia Schmoedown fans? It's your boy C-Dub, and today we got Robert Montano from Late to the Party in his much anticipated return, taking on the Sneider, Jeff Sneider. It's been a hot minute since we've seen both of these competitors. It should be a great match for sure. And I like Sneider. I think he's a little misunderstood, but Rob's my boy, so I'm pulling for him in this match. But should be a great one, so let's get it started.
Well, you stumbled on over to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown YouTube channel. Subscribe. Why should you? Because this is the ultimate sport for the movie fan. It is the best movie trivia players in the world competing at the top level. Plus, our morning show, SEN Live, and brand new shows coming your way. And just as always, the Patreon has become the most significant thing in the Trivia Schmoedown, because we want to make sure that for those people who are supporting the league, that we're able to give back and that we're able to treat the Patreon like a streaming service. We want to make sure that if you are at that $10 level, that you're getting the big pay-per-views that we're doing, that you're getting the exclusive matches. We're going to be doing watch-alongs. Anything that we have that could be exclusive, you guys will get that. And on the lower tiers, you'll make sure that you'll get that a few days later, and you'll have all the access. You'll have access to competitors. There's so much that you're able to do. If you can't join the Patreon, we understand. Go on over and click a like, share it. That stuff is important. The growth of the Schmoedown is something that we wanted to make sure that we were giving to you guys, and hence why we put so much effort into making sure that the Patreon is worth your while. So take a look. Go on over to patreon.com/Schmoedown. Look and see what tier today is right for you. Go ahead, check it out. We thank you so much for your support, and we hope to see you over at patreon.com/Schmoedown. Ladies and gentlemen, to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. It is the ultimate Schmoedown. This tournament has been incredible so far. There have been upsets. There have been just battles back and forth, and I think we're going to have one of those today. Mark Ellis joins me as always. Mark, how goes it?
Oh, Christian, it goes swimmingly for both me and that. And the reason why is because, like you said, this tournament had a lot of potential. It had a lot of promise. Sure, but you never know how a tournament's going to play out. Already, we have seen just about every possible scenario you could possibly have in any tournament setting. And now we get an old favorite versus somebody who came from being a fan to now playing in the big league. Hey, hang on. Let me make sure I'm following. Yes, I'm following Jeff Sneider on Twitter now. Whew, that was a close call.
Oh, well, it's all set. But look, you mentioned this match here. Robert Montano versus Jeff Sneider. And Robert, of course, from Late to the Party fame. But Robert was on it. You look at people like Paul Oyama and Chance Ellison and Kevin Smets and these people who were fans first and then became Schmoedown competitors. Well, Robert and Vanessa and Tim Franco, those were the original three. They were people who loved the Schmoedown, who started reacting to the Schmoedown. We took notice on it. They came and they played. And not only did they just say, oh, they played, they had some great matches. Remember, they had a great match against Action when they were a thing. They upset Critically Acclaimed, who was supposed to win the whole
Come on.
tournament, and that's Bibiani and Whitney when they were a team, and knocked them out of the first round. So he is a very knowledgeable dude and could do very well. Sam Levine, of course, picked him up from the usual suspects at free agency this season, Mark.
Yeah, so we have Jeff Sneider, and we have him as an established entity. I've always been so curious about his nonchalant attitude really towards life, but particularly about the Schmoedown. Is he relaxed, and is that part of his game plan, getting into his opponent's head, or does he just not put forth the effort that you see the competitors at the top of the heap do nowadays that we're into the new era season 7? With Robert Montano, Christian, I think he needs some sort of moniker to really describe who he is at this point in his life. You're the nickname guru. You gave me baby carrots. What do we call this guy?
Well, he's still the Ian Sneider because of what he does.
Well, not him.
Who? Montano?
The other kid.
Come on.
Oh, he's the party crasher. He comes in here. He comes in here and he's able to do what he does well, whether it's joining from the couch and becoming a competitor, upsetting someone in the first round. He's the party crasher. There's no
Come on. Not time for this.
he's ever been on, and he is a solid singles player. He has come close to the title in number one contender matches and then just fell short in New York. I've said this about a couple of players, but it can be more true that Jeff Sneider is his own worst enemy at times. He had this monumental run with the Patriots. I don't know if it'll ever be done. They almost won 10-0. They went 9-1 with 6 title defenses, or 9-2 total, six defenses. And at that point, when it was over, he was burnt out, and you could see it in his face. And when he joined back with Mark Andreyko and Roxy Striar, that love came back, and they won the titles. Is he in that second phase now of, I did a lot, I don't know. I haven't seen the guy. We haven't heard from the guy. You can get a Jeff Sneider that can beat any single person, or the Jeff Sneider that can be beat by any single person. I don't know who we're getting today.
Well, now I think I know that we're getting a Jeff Sneider who's ready to play. Why? Because of his manager, Christian. You look at how Roxy Striar and the Rockstars just push their competitors to the next level. They're constantly quizzing. They're in communication. And I think that if Roxy is that Vince Lombardi lighting the fire under, I'm not going to give him Bart Starr just yet, but I am going to say that Jeff Sneider has posed a Ray Nitschke-like intimidation quality simply by proxy of him being so cool, calm, and collected. There's the Triple C's, fans. Everybody do a shot.
Well, we're going to find out exactly how we got here today. Here we go.
Because we're just here to party, and we're going to keep partying, and we're going to bring the party to the Schmoedown, whether it's late, on time, or even ahead of schedule. But we will always party in the Schmoedown.
Doing the fan reaction videos, and he would play along, and he would crush it.
Innovators. You guys think you do after shows and after podcasts and reactions? Hey, we started all of that. I'm talking about late to the party over here. I'm talking about people who have been fans and then come over to the league. People tend to forget that late to the party were the first.
How do we get here where there's all these fans and reactors joining the league, thinking that they can compete against people like Jeff Sneider?
Late to the party. You should have been late to this match. You could have spared yourself the absolute beating that I'm about to give you.
I've been here once before, but this time I'm going solo. I've got to split the party. As of right now, I have chosen to go with Sam Levine and the usual suspects.
It's crazy to me that nobody picked this guy up before I did. He is going to bring that same confidence and knowledge that he has when he's playing at home to now playing at home just on the internet like he used to. It's going to be no different to him.
But the only thing better than playing a legend is beating one. William Bibiani knows what it feels like to be sent home by me. Sneider will know that feeling soon enough.
He's a fan. He's always going to be a fan. How many fans have we let into the league? They're all going to get exposed in this tournament. You know, you put him up stage with four of the best players in the free-for-all. The guy barely answered a question right. Did he even get one right? I don't even know. I wasn't paying attention to him because he doesn't scare me.
Jeff Sneider should, for all intents and purposes, be on the Mount Rushmore of the Schmoedown, but nobody ever wants to give him the credit or respect that he deserves.
I beat him easily, by myself. In singles, very beatable. I think the upsets in round one, they start right here.
Listen, I've been on hiatus a long time, and I'm hungry. I've got an appetite. The beast has got to get fed. And Robert Montano, gonna make a great little appetizer. See you in the ring.
Well, there's no doubt about it. We already had a massive upset in the tournament with Perry Nemiroff defeating Mike Kalinowski. That is a big upset. Can that carry over here again with Robert beating Jeff? Because that is the same type of level. Even though Robert has never played in singles before, he does know teams. But if you want to compare teams, you look at what Sneider has done. Sneider is arguably, if not, he's the best teams player that has ever played. There's no doubt about it.
There's some sort of looming specter where anytime you doubt Jeff Sneider, it's just this mist in the air, this feeling you get, and you remember, oh, right, the Patriots. Oh, they're a legendary squad, and a lot of that is thanks to JT and Jeff Sneider, their combined knowledge. Now Jeff Sneider once again has the floor in a singles match, but he's got a formidable foe in the Party Crasher. Christian, it's about to get hot, heavy, and a whole lot of movie trivia know-how is coming the fans' way in just about, I don't know, what do you say, 3-4 minutes?
I'd say 3 or 4 minutes because the usual suspects and the rock stars have already had a battle with Andraco and Atchity. And they went after it, and you saw it. Roxy Stryer is fantastic at getting in the minds of both managers and players. Now, Sam usually doesn't get bothered by this stuff, but I don't know here with Sam, because you remember the history that Sam has with Jeff Sneider. Sam's team of Above the Line is the only team that ever defeated the Patriots twice. They didn't do it the first time around, but there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of history there. So I don't know what this is like, if this is a little emotional for Sam, but we're going to find out because the manager of the Rock Stars, Roxy Stryer, and the manager of the Usual Suspects, fresh off a brand new air conditioner, or at least a better one, is the Usual Suspects' own Sam Levine. Hello, guys. All right, let's start here. Sam, I got to ask you because of your history with Jeff Sneider here. Do you tell Robert anything different going into this? Do you any strategies from things that you used to beat Jeff in the past, or you just hope Jeff shows up?
No, it was very easy. I just had to remind Robert how wildly overrated Jeff is as a player. And, you know, he was the drunken master in teams. That was crazy how those guys kept winning. But without JTE next to him, there's nothing scary about Jeff Sneider. He can be cut pretty easily. He bleeds like any other competitor. So I just told Robert, man, play your best game, man. Play it like you're playing on your couch, doing a reaction with your own whiteboard. No pressure. It's just Jeff Sneider. It's not like, you know, he's ever held a singles belt or anything. So this is nothing. He's got this.
Yeah, Sam, do yourself a favor. Never go to the 30th floor of any building. That's just a word to the wise. Roxy Stryer, we were talking about your competitor pre-show, and we say, look, we know that he knows a lot about movies, but he just sometimes needs that extra push if he's playing in a singles match. How have you been able to provide that nudge forward?
Honestly, I don't even know that I have to, considering you guys just did it for me. Thank you for all of the crap talk, because you guys know if there's something a Bostonian loves, it's being doubted and talked to like crap. So thank you, Christian, for saying that anybody could beat him. Thank you, Sam, for saying he can bleed. And thank you, Mark Ellis. I'm not sure what you did yet, but I'm sure it's coming down the line on the show today. So, you know, I'm really excited because I don't have to push Jeff. Jeff pushes Jeff, and you guys all just pushed him too.
Hey, fair enough here. Sam and Roxy both are struggling for points right now. We know that is the case as you're moving through, trying to move through, and the battle between Atchity and Andraco was a tough one there, Sam, but you know, this is a time. This could be revenge here too. So, how do you feel as far as the faction points go? Do you have to beat Roxy here today?
Do I have to? It would be nice to, but I don't know that this is a make or break match. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on it. Look, it's always nice to pick up points when you can, and I think today it's a pretty easy chance to pick up some points. So sure, it'd be great, but I don't want to put that kind of pressure on Robert.
Rox?
All the pressure. Don't blow this, Sneider. I know you won't.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's move Ronnie out of there and move Sam out of there. The managers are ready, and Roxy knows how to talk to Jeff. By the way, they have a great relationship.
Say that in the Rockstars locker room, there's a lot of bulletin board material that Roxy's making sure Jeff knows and is aware of. And then over in the Usual Suspects locker room, Christian, I think they're just making sure they have plenty of Freon for any sort of air conditioning unit that may need running.
Nice. All right, I'm ready. Are you?
Good? Let's ride, cowboy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the movie trivia Schmoedown.
Yeah!
Introducing first, representing the Usual Suspects, making his Schmoedown singles debut. He is Robert, the Party Crasher. Almost there. Robert, how are you? Robert, look, man, it's been a pleasure always having you in the league. This is the first time that you have ever been on a different team or faction than Vanessa. So, first of all, do you guys talk about this match coming up, or you say, nope, your faction's your faction, mine's mine?
No, it's crazy. Like the training has definitely gone from a partnership more so to singular to where I'm just training on my own. She trains on her own. She's got her book, I've got mine. And then when it comes down to talking about it, it's really just kind of throwing questions at each other. But really, when it comes down to the mechanics of what I'm learning versus what she's learning, I have no clue what she's doing on her end. And I like that, you know, it definitely makes me my own person when it comes to the Schmoedown, and her as well. So I'm excited for this, especially going up against another legend like Jeff Sneider. Let's get to it. I'm excited.
Yeah, Robert, you know, you look at your t-shirt and you have, obviously, everybody's favorite Kermit the Frog on there. Now, when you look at your nickname, the Party Crasher, our comedian friend Darren Carter is the Party Starter. Now, you're the Party Crasher. What does that nickname say about you and the sort of attitude that you want to bring to today's matchup?
Well, the biggest thing was, ending late to the party when it comes to the Schmoedown. I was the one that sought out some sort of manager. I wanted some leadership. I was the one that took that step to find somebody who would work best for me. First one I went to was Sam Levine. Second, it was technically the first one that happened, and that was crashing the party when it came to critically acclaimed. Actually, before that, I was the second person ever to get a perfect round and the bonus point when it came to teams. Actually, who was also on my faction, then me, then Tim Franco, who was also on my faction at the time. So we're all about crashing the parties. We're all about upsetting the establishment. So here, it ain't gonna happen. Sneider and Oyama too. I'm here to stop that.
All right, well, there is Robert. Thank you. Going to drop you out here as we wait for your opponent. And his opponent, with a record of 9 wins, 7 defeats, he is the former 2-time movie trivia Schmoedown team champion of the world, the Sneider, Jeff Sneider. Jeff Sneider, that is just, I would expect nothing less. Jeff, you have been out for a little bit, not competing, just the Inner Geekdom's been going on, your favorite division, I might add. Star Wars has been going on, but no singles, no teams to where you had made your name for. Tournament comes back, Roxy says you're in. Is there any chance in hell that you did want to be in this thing, or you were in from the get?
I don't have anything better to do right now, Christian, okay? I'm sitting at home, I'm chilling with Dad, and that's all I'm doing. So I say we rock and roll.
Somewhere Tom Dagnino is wondering where his best dinner jacket went. Jeff, I'm going to put it simply to you. A lot of competitors who are winning championships, who have belts, study, and that is the bulk of their preparation. It's just constant quizzing and testing and watching movies. When I say study, what does Jeff the Sneider say?
Cram about a half an hour before the match starts. I don't study at all. I mean, I'm always testing myself, that kind of stuff. But do I hit the books? Do I have flashcards or a freaking Excel doc like some people in this league? No.
All right, here we go. So, Robert, you are in. Jeff, you're in. The competitors have hit the battlefield. And walk round number one.
If we took a detour, we got a Mountain Dew, we're back on the highway with round number one, gentlemen. 8 questions will be asked to the field of competitors, and it looks like this field numbers 2. So, each question worth 1 point apiece. There's no penalty for missing a question. There is no stealing, at least not in round number 1. Once we ask the question, each competitor has 15 seconds to write down your best attempt at an answer with whatever writing utensil you prefer on whatever writing surface you provided for yourself. Once we ask you by name to reveal your answer, please show what you wrote to the camera at the same time you verbalize your answer into the microphone. I'll remind each competitor of your 3 usages of the JTE rule throughout the duration of the match. Jeff, you remember him. If you're not sure you heard a question right, if you're not sure, you got to get that information from the back of your head to the front of your head, and 15 seconds ain't going to cut it, use a JTE rule. You also each have 1 challenge to be utilized at any point throughout the 3-round match. You as the competitor may initiate the challenge, then we'll bring in your manager, and they will ratify that decision. Christian, they look ready to go. They have their whiteboard. Well, they were ready to go, and then Sneider leaned back, so I don't even know if he knows he's competing in.
Well, we're going to find out in a second. Jeff, you ready?
Yes.
And Robert, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown! Round number 1, question number 1 in the realm of action/adventure. Gentlemen, who directed 2005's The Island?
Favorite island you ever been to, Christian? I think I know the answer.
Michael Bay.
I think you're going to go Maui. Looking for Maui.
Just wanted to be clever. 5, 4, 3, Manhattan. 2, 1, pens down. And let's start with Jeff.
Michael Bay.
Yes. And Robert.
Michael Bay.
Correct. All right. Let's go to the next question. Here we go.
All right, gentlemen, the next question is in the category of romantic comedies, or as she calls them, rom-coms. The question: who co-stars as Leopold alongside Meg Ryan in the 2001 film Kate and Leopold? I like this movie, Christian. You know why? Because there's a John Roebling reference. You know who John Roebling is?
I do.
New Jersey town where my mom's from, named after him. Built Brooklyn Bridge.
3, 2, 1. Pens down.
Repeat the question.
Pens down, Robert. Nothing. Okay. There was no delay there, Sam. There was no delay. He
Did
missed
not get the JTE rule in time. You got to get that fired off before we hit 0 on the countdown.
Are you gonna? No, Sam. Sam's waving his hand. Are you challenging? Yes. Hold on.
I'm asking a question.
What?
We're not going to challenge. I just want you to know you started that countdown at 4, not 5, Christian. I love the bits, but the countdown starts at 5.
It did start at 5.
No, I heard 5. Seems like he knows how to count to 5.
It's fine. Go ahead. I'm just letting you know.
All right. Well, I can't confirm or deny that, but I've never started with 4.
Now, let me ask you, Sam Levine, would a 6-second have mattered?
First of all, show me your answer. What do you got?
Is it Hugh Jackman?
It is. All right. So 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. And now we get to our next question. Question number 3. Dramas, which this match already has become. Nicholas Hoult plays a famous fantasy author who was a soldier during World War I in what 2019 biopic?
Shit.
Yeah, those JTE rules, it's that 1, it's that 0. You got to get that in before we hit...
Watch this, Mark. 5.
Midway?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Pens down. And we start with Jeff Sneider.
Tolkien.
Yes, Robert.
Jane Fonda.
No, but that's great. All right, 3-1. 3-1. Sneider goes up by 2 here as we get to our next question.
That's right. We move on to the category of movie quotes. Gentlemen, and your question for a point. What crime film has the line, "The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he did not exist"? Fun fact, the devil also very good at balloon animals.
I don't know if that's true.
I've seen it.
5, 4, 3,
Goodfellas?
1. Pens down, please, Robert.
I should be kicked off the team for not getting this one. The Usual Suspects.
Yes, and Sneider.
The Usual Suspect.
That is correct. So, the score right now is 4-2 as we get to our next question. Mark, here it is. Fantasy sci-fi. Who plays Walter Paddock, who is the evil man in black in the 2017 film, The Dark Tower?
All right, so Christian, since we asked the Usual Suspects question, do we have to ask a Mark Wahlberg rock and roll movie
Idris
question?
Elba.
It's the next question. It's the next one on the docket. 5,
Fair and balanced.
4, 3, 2, 1. Pen
Yeah, I'm going with Idris Elba.
down, please, Sneider.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, Robert.
Would have been better as a series, Matthew McConaughey.
Also agree. Your post answer.
Oh, that spelling is a disaster. Holy.
McConaughey.
Sorry, I'll watch the swearing.
Yeah,
You should know the spelling. Your partner was doing
I know how to. No, that's not how.
Well, we knew it. That's different as far as what he was doing there. So,
All right, McConaughey is tricky. It's all right, Robert.
Geppetto.
next question. Next question. Come on.
Trying to buckle up this match once again. I'll go ahead and do the laugh now. Ha 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 ha. The category is comedies. And the question: what 1980s comedy stars John Cleese, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Palin, and Kevin Kline?
Sam Levine is 100% the McEnroe of coaches.
Oh, I wouldn't give him a McEnroe.
You know he's McEnroe?
I mean, maybe a Draymond Green or Rasheed Wallace, but McEnroe is just
Fish
another
called
level.
Bonda.
1. Pens down. Pens down. All right, let's go with Robert.
Ken is gonna kill me. A fish called Wanda.
Yes. Sneider.
A fish called Wanda.
Yes, sir. 6-4. Robert gets to another one correct, but Sneider has not missed yet. As we get to question 7, horror/thriller. Which Oscar-winning actress plays multiple roles in 2018's Suspiria?
Got 2 questions left, and then Jeff Sneider could have a bonus question if he gets these next 2 right. Absolutely.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Pens down, and we
Amy
start
Adams?
with Jeff Sneider.
I believe it's Tilda Swinton.
That is correct. Robert?
Jane Fonda.
Have it. All right, 7-4. Sneider goes up by 3. Sneider goes up by 3. As we get to our last question, if Jeff Sneider hits this, then he and only he will have a bonus question. If not, we go on to round number 2, Mark.
Could have another 2-point swing here, Christian. And the question: in the world of animated movies drawn by a computer, maybe on hand, the question: Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh led their voices to what DreamWorks animation film in the year 2000?
The year 2000.
Like I did, I set that up. It wasn't in the question. I set Christian up for that.
You did.
And a rare connection from Mark to Christian.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, please. And Robert.
El Dorado.
El Dorado's not correct. The Insider?
Is it the Prince of Egypt?
No, it wasn't.
No, you got close, Robert. It was actually The Road to El Dorado.
Yeah. That was that question that we had as like a 5-pointer, I remember, in an old match. And I couldn't even think of it.
All right, well, there it is. There it is. So it is a 7-4 game as the early round is missed by Sneider, but it is 7-4 as we get to round number 2. Mark, how do the rules go in number 2?
Round number 2 is the wheel round. Everyone loves the wheel, and it's virtual this time. I'm not going near either one of yours apartments. So you spin the virtual wheel with your mind. Once we settle on a category, you're going to hear 4 questions from that particular realm of Schmoedown know-how. Each question is worth 2 points. No penalty for missing a question. However, stealing, yeah, that's available in round number 2. So if you're not sure of the answer, ask us for multiple choice. We'll give you 4 options, one of which, we promise, is the correct answer. At that point, the value of the question goes down to 1. So Christian, the Rockstar is in good position at the end of round number 1 anyway. So as we enter round number 2, Jeff Sneider is going to have a chance to chat with his manager, Roxy Stryer, to decide whether he'd like to spin that wheel first or defer to his party-crashing opponent.
All right, we're going to remove Sam and Robert here. And Roxy got 60 seconds starting now.
Jeff, to me, you are perfect. What an amazing round 1. You're such a champion. What are you thinking? How are you feeling? You want to spin first?
I typically do, but part of me also wants to put a little pressure on Robert.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you know what? Let's make Robert go first.
Alright, I like that. First is the worst anyway, second is the best, and we all know you're the best. Let's do it. We're gonna have Robert go first then.
All right, Robert's going to go first. If that's the case, going to remove Rox, and Jeff going to bring back both Sam and Robert. Sam, you got 60 seconds to talk to Robert starting now.
Okay, dude, we'll get to strategy in a second. Off yours, Christian. I'm just trying to get a fair shake for my players here. That's 2 matches you burned me on a split-second delay for a JTE rule. Take a walk. Okay, Robert, here we go. This is great. Sneider is clearly in his own head right now. He always goes first. So you got him shaken that he would think he needs to switch that up. This is all you. You and I have talked so much strategy about the wheel here. We assumed we'd be going first, so he gave us a gift without realizing it. You ready to do this?
Let's do it, man. Bust the deal, spin the wheel.
All right, here is the wheel for Robert as the spin is in.
See that DiCaprio wedge looming out there. Did I see a John Carpenter wedge, Christian?
Oh, yeah, that's been up there before, so we're going to find
I'm
out.
excited to see it.
Thriller, 60 seconds to decide, starting now.
I know it's a strength of his, man.
Okay, so
I would say let's try it one more time.
spin it again.
All right, here's the spin. And whatever this one is, obviously, Robert's going to have to play.
That's right. That opponent's choice looming out there. He's not worried about it, but he might have hit it.
He did. Opponent's choice it is. All right, so we're going to remove Robert here. Excuse me, we're going to remove Sam. Going to bring back both Roxy and Jeff. And we're going to give you 60 seconds to decide what you want to choose starting now.
It's about time the Rockstars have a little luck here. How you feeling? You want to give it to him?
Yeah, let's go Thriller for him.
Perfect.
All right, Thriller then for...
Good luck, Robert!
All right, Thriller it is. Going to bring Roxy out and move Robert back in. All right, Robert, you're going to get 4 questions in the realm of Thriller. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Question 1. All right. Who plays Jim Hudson, who's the man who wins the bid to live in Chris's body in the film Get Out?
It's the guy from Dodgeball.
Stephen Root.
Stephen Root.
That's correct, for 2 points. Next question. William Hurt played Kevin Costner's alter ego in what psychological thriller?
Multiple choice, please.
Is it A, Perfect World, B, Dragonfly, C, Mr. Brooks, D, 3 Days to Kill?
I don't think it's Mr. Brooks.
A is an alpha.
C is in cat.
Hold on a second. So A is an alpha is what Robert said. So I'm going to repeat. That's incorrect. I'm going to repeat the question for Jeff now, and that is
For cat.
Let me finish the question and the answer and the multiple choice, please, for audio listeners. William Hurt plays Kevin Costner's alter ego in what psychological thriller? Is it A, Perfect World, B, Dragonfly, C, Mr. Brooks, or D, 3 Days to Kill?
Mr. Brooks.
That is correct. All right, so Jeff Sneider steals that one there, and here is question number 3. Here it is. Who plays Clyde Alexander Shelton, who's a man on a mission to avenge his wife and daughter in 2009's Law-Abiding Citizen?
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler.
It's correct for 2 points. And finally, here it is.
This question could break the tie now. It is deadlocked at 8.
This is it. All right, here we go. David Lynch directed Naomi Watts and Justin Theroux in this 2001 neo-noir thriller.
21.
This jerk knows David Lynch very well. Multiple choice, please.
Is it A, Lost Highway, B, Mulholland Drive, C, The Man Who Wasn't There, or D, The Deep End?
B, Mulholland Drive.
Correct for 1 point. All right, so Robert goes up by 1, and Jeff Sneider finds himself only down by 1. And here it is. All right, so we're going to move Robert, going to bring back Roxy, and you get 60 seconds to talk to your competitor.
Christian, how do you say that word? Noir? Noir?
That's how I said it, Nor.
Jeff, easy peasy. You're down by 1 going to the second round. This is the best place we could possibly
No
be in right
questions
now.
have been any easier. My question
No.
would never be that easy.
Well, we're ready for it. We're going to spin this wheel. It's going to do well for us. We've got luck on our side today. I can feel it. So let's get to the wheel right now so we can see what's going on. Also, you look like a straight-up stud.
Jeff Sneider playing the role of Sam Levine today. All right, here we go. Next question. So,
Spin.
All right, Jeff working his magic to get that spin in, and opponent's choice still working, Christian, so maybe it could be some medicine back to Jeff, but he spins Eddie Murphy instead.
Eddie Murphy, 60 seconds.
How are you feeling about this, Jeff?
I don't love it. I don't love it.
All right. Okay, I think that's fine.
But we can't get Thriller, so all we can really get is Leo, Drew, or remakes and reboots, so I think we gotta do it.
I think that as long as you can take it to multiple choice every time, then you'll be okay.
Oh, let's go with Eddie Murphy, yeah.
Let's do it. You got this, Jeff. This is yours. You got it.
Eddie Murphy it is, and now we bring back Robert here. All right, so you're going to get 4 questions in the realm of Eddie Murphy movies. Jeff, Mark, are you ready to go?
Yeah, well, I'm still puzzled as to why everybody has such a tough time taking Eddie Murphy movies, one of the greatest living thespians ever. Okay, we move on. Jeff, 4 questions, each one 2 points, unless you want to go to multiple choice. Your first question, in the incredible world of Eddie Murphy, who plays the upper-class executive Louis Winthorpe III in Trading Places?
Dan Aykroyd.
Multiple choice.
Is it A, Bill Murray, B, Dan Aykroyd,
Dan Aykroyd.
C, Harold Ramis, or D, Paul Gleason?
Dan Aykroyd.
Star of Celtic Pride is correct for 1 point.
Correct for 1 point. All right, question 2.
All right, Jeff, in the world of Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence share the screen as a loudmouth Harlem grifter Ray and the no-nonsense Claude
Right.
in what 1999
Right.
film?
Life.
Life.
2 points for Jeff Sneider, Christian.
All right, here is the next question here, Mark.
Jeff now enjoying a 2-point lead as we careen into your penultimate Eddie Murphy question, and that would be, who plays Jerry Harris, a film producer looking to cast Beyonce's Dina in Dreamgirls?
Is that Jamie Foxx? I think it's Jamie Foxx. I think it is Jamie Foxx.
I think I know, but multiple choice.
All right, I'll get through all 4 options, and you can select your answer. Is it A, John Lithgow,
it's not
B,
Jamie
John
Foxx.
Krasinski, C, Danny Glover, or D, Keith Robinson?
Keith Robinson?
Can you repeat the question?
You want a JT rule?
Yeah, with all the things, yeah. JT rule.
Certainly. Who plays Jerry Harris, a film producer looking to cast Beyonce's Dina in Dreamgirls? You elected for multiple choice. Those options are, is it A, John Lithgow, B, John Krasinski, C, Danny Glover, or D, Keith Robinson?
Keith Robinson.
Keith Robinson?
That is incorrect, so we go to the party crasher. I'm going to repeat the question and the options once
Now I
again.
go with
In the world of
Krasinski.
Eddie Murphy, who plays Jerry Harris, a film producer looking to cast Beyonce's Dina in Dreamgirls?
John
Is it
Lithgow.
A, John Lithgow, B, B. John Krasinski,
Lithgow.
C. Danny Glover, or D. Keith Robinson?
Is it C as in Charlie?
C as in Charlie is incorrect. We're looking for Cliffhanger's own John Lithgow.
All right, so here's Jeff's final question in round number 2.
All right, Jeff still enjoying a 2-point lead over the Party Crasher, looking to double that. Heading into round number 3, this is your final question in the world of Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy and Robert De Niro play two cops who are paired for a reality police show and run into real trouble with a crime lord in what 2002 film?
Showtime.
Showtime.
It's a nice cable channel as well. Christian, Jeff Sneider gets it correct, and we have a 4-point advantage for the Sneider over the Party Crasher as we head into round number 3.
4-point lead it is by the Sneider. As we get to round number 3, Mark, how does it go?
Round number 3 is the round that will determine the match and who advances in the tournament. Unless, of course, we go to sudden death overtime, which is in play. So what we need from each competitor is a series of numbers. 3 numbers from each of you. These numbers can range from 1 to 20. They may not be the same number as your opponent. Each number corresponds to a different corner of movie trivia, Schmoedown, hidden goodness. Your first question is worth 2 points. Your next one is worth 3 points. Your last one, should we make it that far, is worth 5 of the biggest points of your tournament. So, Jeff, because you have a 4-point advantage, you can give us your 3 lucky numbers first. So from 1 to 20, what feels fortunate?
Can I defer?
No. Yeah, you can actually. You can defer if you want.
I would like to defer.
No one's ever done that before.
So you're such a gentleman. Oh,
Never
God.
been given as an option before.
I know, it's
Jeff, I love that move out of you. Just so.
At this point, it's just really making the match longer. So, Robert, go ahead.
7, 3, and 11.
Oh, good. You took his favorite numbers. Good job, Robert.
God, numbers.
You did take 2 of my numbers. So. Yeah.
Good for him. Let him have
Good
them.
numbers. This is going to matter.
Jeff, what do you got?
4, 8, 16.
4.
Oh, those
Sexy numbers.
garbage.
Oh, they're so
All right,
good.
let's get
Oh, I'm feeling those numbers.
60 seconds.
Wow.
Roxy, you got Jeff for 60 seconds starting now.
Jeff, love that move out of you. I think you know exactly what this is right now. We're up by 4. This is a great place to be. Let's watch him just slowly take himself out of this game. You've got this. You have 2 JT rolls left. Use them when you need them. Take your time. Let it run down as far as you can before you ask for them. And just don't get in your head. You've got this. This is your game right now, 100%.
All right, so now 60 seconds, Sam, and talk to Robert starting now.
Dude, I can't believe he took a dump in his own bet on that, letting you pick 2 of his 3 favorite numbers. He had the lead. He just gave away that massive advantage. What a fool! What a fool! You got this, dude. Here's the thing. It's only 4 points. So you get the first 2 questions, then you got the lead. Then he's got to get at least 1 question back, and I can't even begin to tell you Sneider's history of missing 5-pointers. So you hit yours, this match is over. You got this, buddy.
All right,
A lot of ifs. Okay.
good advice by both managers as we put both of them in the waiting room, and we start. So Robert is going to be going first. He's going to try to avoid the row here as we start with category number 7, Robert. Category number 7, that would be the world of comic book movies. Comic book movies. All right, here it is. Your 2-pointer. In Venom, what former Cheers actor has a cameo as the murderous Cletus
Woody
Cassidy?
Harrelson. Come on, Rob. Woody Harrelson.
5,
This is where your brain's farting.
3.
Repeat the question, please.
Second one, excuse me. First one. All right, here it is. In Venom, what former Cheers actor has a cameo as the murderous Cletus
Come
Cassidy?
on. Sorry.
Come on, Rob. You got this. Woody Harrelson.
5, 4, 3.
Repeat the question, please.
Second one. In Venom, what former Cheers actor has a cameo as the murderous Cletus Cassidy?
Come on, it's there! Scratching.
Come on, Rob.
5, 4, 3,
Come on.
2, 1.
I can't.
Nothing. Woody Harrelson was the answer.
Woody! I kept going Willie! What the hell?
Woody Harrelson. All right, so now we get to your three-pointer here. Your
Now he's got to hit his 5-pointer no matter what, Christian.
Got to hit its 3 and a spot.
Oh, yeah.
So here is Robert's 3. Horror. You got horror here. And that would be this question, Robert. Who directed the 1997 sci-fi horror film Mimic? Five,
Mimi Leader?
3.
Repeat the question, please.
Last one. Who directed the 1997 sci-fi horror film Mimic?
Mimi Leader.
I only know who's in it. Not who directed it. Damn you, Woody! Mira Sorvino.
Incorrect. Looking for Guillermo del Toro. I just pulled the JT. Guillermo del Toro.
Really?
Yes. So, now, we get to our 5-pointer. Our 5-pointer. If Robert hits it, it bounces back to Jeff. However, if he misses it, Jeff Sneider and the Rockstars will win via TKO. Robert, category 11. Remakes and reboots. Remakes and reboots. Here it is. Remakes and reboots. Who plays Chief Inspector Dreyfus in 2006's The Pink Panther?
Kevin Kline.
Correct. 5-point. All right.
Do that one.
Thank you.
It bounces back. It bounces back to Jeff Sneider. So we are in a position, though. Jeff Sneider just needs to hit the 2, and the Rockstars will have another 3 points after Andraco wins his match. So, Mark, Jeff Sneider, he chose category number 4.
He did that, Christian, and Jim Harbaugh's NFL number corresponds to the 2000s, Jeff. 2000s movies is your category. And your question, for 2 points, and more importantly, the win to advance in the tournament. Catherine Bigelow directed Jeremy Renner and Anthony Mackie
The
in
Hurt
what
Locker.
2009 war film?
The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker. And your winner, advancing to the next round, the Sneider, Jeff Sneider.
Sneider does it. Robert, drop you out there for a moment, my friend. All right. So, Jeff Sneider does it. He beats Robert Montano as the Rockstars once again beat the usual suspects. All right, so bringing in Roxy Stryer here. Massive win for Jeff Sneider. He's going to be playing the winner now of both Marisol McKee or Paul Oyama. I guess, Jeff, I don't have to ask you this because you said it in your post there. Who do you want to win, either Oyama or McKee?
I want Paul Oyama to win so that I can get a shot at redemption.
It's fair.
I can't wait until he does, and then we bury him. I mean, this is just like the chef's kiss. Jeff, I am so obsessed with you. You are just such a joy to manage and be on the faction. You're incredible. I am scared to ask you this, but I do want to know what is on your notepad right now. What did you go scribbling down, Jeff Sneider, you crazy devil?
I didn't think that Robert was going to get the last question, so I wrote out.
Alright, so we got a little bit cocky. It's okay, it's okay.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Just writing it down. For those 3 points, though, thank you. What an amazing job you did. And honestly, Robert's a jerk, so no love lost here. He can go home and be upset about his lack of ability to get that 2 or 3 point. Woody? Come on, I have a Woody right now based on him not getting that.
How about Christian in the question? What Cheers star who once starred in White Men Can't Jump and Natural Born Killers? And
First of all, I'm going to give you the same thing that I gave to Sam. To be fair to Sam, I'm going to do the same thing I said to Sam when he played Nathan. First of all, dummy. You just won the match.
Yeah.
Second of all, your two-pointer was what Catherine Bigelow
It was easy. I get it.
You both got easy two-pointers. That's the point of the two-pointer. So shut up. You won the match.
We'll try to clean things up here with another question. Jeff, it might be a little metaphorical. You had written down TKO. You didn't end up getting the TKO. So maybe live by the sword, die by the sword in terms of your next matchup, whether you're taking on Marisol or whether you have a rematch against Oyama, there's going to be a lot more bulletin board material of people saying Jeff can't pull this next victory off. So in your own words, what exactly does bulletin board material and people doubting you do for you prior to a match?
Oh, I feed off the hate. All the doubters who think that, I can't beat Oyama. I was this close. I was a bad bid. It wasn't even a question. I was a bad bid away from beating him in New York. I just didn't realize that he was going to completely crash and burn in the fourth quarter. So yeah, I'm just eager to show what I can do and put him in his place like I should have the first time.
Well, you're overlooking Marisol McKee, who had a nice victory there against Bonnie. Is there any chance that you think Marisol here can do this, Roxy, or you guys are just set on Paul Oyama?
Oh no, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. This is the movie trivia Schmoedown. We just hope that it's Oyama so that we can make him cry.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
I'm trying to will it into existence, Christian, by saying it out loud. But I certainly wouldn't put anything past Marisol.
All right, well, last question before I let you go here and bring back Sam and Robert. I guess for both you guys. Roxy, this is another victory for you over Sam, and Jeff, you get a chance to beat Sam now as a manager. Good, or just get out of the way? We're coming.
I don't get the same joy from beating Sam that I do from some of the true jerks in this league, like a Finstock or a Shannon, who are just horrible human beings. But I do definitely get that same feeling from beating Robert, who is a crap talker and kind of mean. And actually, in his reactions, okay, let's go watch him react to this now. How are you feeling now? Are you reacting well? So Sam, I got a little bit of joy beating Robert. I got a whole lot of joy beating.
All right, well, here is Sneider. Sneider, look, man, congratulations on this match today. You advance into the next round. You will be playing either Marisol McKee or Paul Oyama, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, Vanessa, call me.
Nice. All right, so now we're going to bring in both Sam Levine, Robert. Sam, got to start with you here, man. So this is the second loss here of the Rockstars in this tournament. It was a tough one. I thought your managing and the advice going into the third round was absolutely stellar. And it just sometimes, as we saw, his brain froze. That happens to the best of them. So what do you say in that moment?
Look, man, it does happen to everyone. It happened to me. I had a stroke when I was writing Hugo Weaving's name against Dan Merle. It happens, so don't beat yourself up over that. It has happened to every single player multiple times. Look, Roxy, at the beginning of round two, or in the middle of round two, when Sneider hit Spinner's Choice, she said, it's about time we got some good luck. And that's what this comes down to. It's luck. I mean, you're basically spinning the wheel 3 times in round 3 when you give seemingly random numbers and get random categories. So the luck sometimes goes your way, the luck sometimes doesn't go your way. And I know, he's going to beat himself up over that 2-pointer, but the 3-pointer, it just wasn't there. The luck plays a factor every time, and I'm so proud to have Robert on the team. I love having him as a member of this faction, and it just didn't go our way today, but I know it's going to go his way in the future.
Robert, speaking on that, I don't usually butter up competitors, win or lose, but I do have to tell you, you're a credit not only to your name, but also to the Schmoedown. You started out as a fan, as a reactor, and you made it all the way to the big leagues, and you're staying put here, and the Schmoedown is not what it became unless we have people like you involved in the community. So hats off to you, my friend. When you look to the future of your destiny as it pertains to the movie trivia Schmoedown, anything you want to do differently heretofore that maybe you look back and say, if I had only done this or that leading up to this tournament?
Well, the crazy thing about the Schmoedown is you kind of set a trajectory of how you're going to study, and I watched a ton of movies. I have never seen them before. If you actually follow me on social networking, you'd see I was going through like a training regimen. Not one of those movies come up. Although they didn't end up in the Schmoedown, at least in this competition, I now have the knowledge of all those movies that I ended up watching. And when it comes down to it, I also watched a ton of Jeff Sneider's matches. Two of the questions, the Hurt Locker and Showtime, appeared in Jeff Sneider's matches. So of course he's going to know those now. So when it comes down to it, it's luck. I mean, if those questions now pop up again, he's going to know them. I knew them. I knew all his Eddie Murphy questions. But when it came down to like my 5-pointer, you could have asked for the original Chief Inspector Dreyfus, Herbert Lom, and I would have thrown that at him instead of Kevin Kline, which in my opinion was easier than Herbert Lom. That's how the Schmoedown plays out. That's how it lays. But you set up your trajectory, it happens, and sometimes the questions don't land in what you studied.
Classy in defeat for sure, and looking for, I always prefer that type of mentality of, this is what I did, what I could do, what I will do in the next match. So I mean, I can't tell you, I definitely appreciate that. And for sure, as much as we pull each other's legs here in the movie trivia Schmoedown, Sam Levine always showing why he was one of the greatest of all time from the advice that he was giving in this match. There's no doubt about it when you listen and you see. But Sam, the season is clearly not over. There's a lot more on the table for you, but there's just a long road in general with the Schmoedown. I do have to ask this before I let you go. Is there anything this season, because you got thrown a bunch of curveballs this year, is there anything this season that you think you would have done differently, or like I said, it was just curveballs and you did and you handled what you had?
Yeah. I mean, look, there was no real way for me to anticipate, some of the things that happened. I don't know that there's much I would have or could have done that differently. So no, man, I've just been rolling with it, and I'm actually really proud mostly of my free agency pickups. Robert and Molly Damon, to name just two of them. I'm really proud of that. I think they were and are great players, and it was crazy to me that they were both somehow undrafted. So, I'm just going forward. I may be keeping a wider knowledge base of everyone playing who maybe isn't a marquee name, so to speak, but might be a good asset for the Suspects next year. But as far as this year, it is what it is. You play the cards you're dealt, not the cards you want.
Sam, thank you. Robert, thank you. And we will see you both very soon. Appreciate it. All right, Sam Levine and Robert Montano there. Look, I thought Robert fought very well as he was coming back in that second round, and he started throwing some scraps with Sneider, and like he said, his brain just froze. I mean, I think that regardless, maybe he could have pulled that Del Toro if he had more confidence after hitting the two. Maybe not. I think he was so kind of thrown off by not being able to recall that it threw him off. But I loved his answer at the end, and the fact that he's going to find a way to come back and do something different.
I think you're correct, and I also think his manager, Sam Levine of the Usual Suspects, is accurate when he says this happens to everyone at some point in their Schmoedown career. You get a little bit of raspberry jam in your tractor beam, so to speak. But Montano, nothing to hang his head about. As a matter of fact, Christian, I think the fact that he was able to pull that 5-pointer under that amount of pressure and even throw Jeff Sneider off of his game a little bit, I think that kid deserves a nice crisp IPA. And for Jeff Sneider, he's advancing in the tournament. We wait to see who he's going to be facing, but you know that him and Roxy, they're from Boston. They're going to have a celebratory swig of dirty water tonight and get ready for whoever it is.
Well, I can tell you for sure, Roxy Stryer, like she said, finally getting some luck here, because they were hurting this season, and they just got in. Draco and Sneider, her two big dogs, have shown up for her so far as she hoped that they would. So that's another 3 points for the Rock Stars, and here are the standings as they are today. All right, as you can see, there is a battle for the top, but our teams like the Rock Stars who start to creep closer and closer and closer, and that's what she's looking to do. If Draco and Sneider both have runs here, there is a shot that Roxy Stryer and the Rockstars could take first place if they have this run. It is not out of the realm of possibilities, and I know Roxy knows that. For you guys, make sure all the pay-per-views that we have, everything that we have, you're a $10 patron, you get all of them. All the massive events that we do on the Schmoedown Throwdowns, when we come back to live events, all of it, the exclusive exhibition matches, you get them, and that's only for $10 a month. If you don't want to get the $10 a month tier, well, then you just go to the SchmoedownLive.com and you can get the pay-per-views Just go on over there, click on the button, get that link. Which event do you want? It's as easy as that. For the great Mark Ellis, I'm Christian Harloff. See you next time.
Well, it was a really good match, like I knew that it would be. Rob, he came up a little short. At least he nailed the 5-pointer to at least give himself a chance. Gotta commend him for that. But Sneider, he answered his 2 to get the win. And, I'm not gonna lie. Rob was my dark horse pick in this tournament. I thought he would go quite a way. So to see him go out in the first round, yeah, it sucks. Especially for him, because he loves the Schmoedown so much. But, kudos to Jeff on a hard-fought victory. And I like Jeff, but I was just rooting for Robert in this match. But I very well could be rooting for Jeff in the next match. But yeah, and happy for Roxy. She did have... Luck was against her for a while, but luck's been on her side in the past few matches, so happy for her. Yeah, good match. If you like my reactions, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Christopher Woodburn. You can find me on Twitter, ChrisWoodburn83, Facebook, Christopher Michael Woodburn. So until next time, Mr. Boy C-Dub, peace.